3. Hard work, work. To go and earn my pay. Hard work, work. Put my boots on and lay some mud. Hard work, work. Another day to work. Hard work, hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, hard work. I earn my pay. Hard work, work. Move on now. Hard work, work.
All right, we want to welcome everybody to another edition of We the Vets. We in the month of June. We keep chopping this tree down, man. We getting closer and closer, you know. So I am one of your co-hosts, Mike P. We got my man JD from the Parts of Unknown. And then we got my man Walton from the big state of Alabama, aka No Lottery. What's up, fella? Man, I can't call it, man. Can't call it, man. Just another day trying to get another $2.50, man.
Right.
Must be nice. Must be nice. Get that raise. I need a raise too. Hey,
Listen, man, they getting
a nickel together.
Yeah, they giving it away now. But they getting it right back with that gas.
Right. Killing.
Oh man, it's 475 down here, so
we have 450 right here.
Yeah, we 450.
Now, when I was in South Georgia, it was I got some gas that was $3.75. $3.75. Yeah. I imagine it was watered down, but you know.
Yeah, I got that 316, 317 gas over there in close by you, David.
Yeah.
You can't that's all water.
Yeah, they ain't no telling, man. My doggone fuel filter probably like
that way up the road and be like, I'm out of gas already.
Yeah.
Listen, no lie to you, I filled up at Wawa and I pulled out. You know, they had a little stop sign right there. Man, I pulled out and stopped. Man, my car like it was coughing. Boy, they done got me with this water gas, man. They done got me.
They got you, man.
They got me, man. They got me. Hey, but look, fella, man, we're gonna start off with our rant, man. And you know, I'm gonna go ahead and kick this thing off, man. My rant today is about the nails on the road, man. Nails on the road. If anybody looking for a business to start, go start you a tire business, man. I done been to the tire man 6 times in the past 2 months because all these little nails on the road. Now, I think we ought to pass some legislation where whoever building these houses, they got to ante up some money for us to keep getting nails in our tires.
Right.
Okay? And we can call them impact fees because they impacting us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I need about $100 that'll cover all my expenses and time lost. Okay. So that's my rant for today, fellas.
I wish we could get there where we could pass common sense legislation.
Well, good luck with that.
Good luck with that, right?
Good luck.
All right, Davis, what you got, man?
Hey, so what I got is kind of going along with the topic we got today. We kind of want to talk about the shooting down at Texas. And my rant really is more so holding people accountable, whether that be politicians, whether that be parents, public servants, things of that matter, or different organizations that represent themselves a certain way in the public, and then when something happens, they don't have nothing to say. So I just think we should start holding each other accountable, whether you're Democrat, Republican, atheist, Baptist, gay, straight, or whatever the case may be. I think we need to do that, hold each other accountable, and call each other on the foolishness that's out there.
Gotcha, man. And that ain't nothing wrong with that there, man. Nothing is wrong with that, you know, but that, you know, seems too much like right, if that makes sense. So,
Exactly.
Walk Dog, what you got, man? Walk Dog time.
Man, I want to hit on these arguments they have, man. They're killing me with the arguments, and that's both parties. The okay, all the shootings that we've had thus far. Uh, one up in New York, Buffalo, New York, over there in Texas, um, which is huge tragedy. The arguments are misplaced, in my opinion. You got the Democrats, okay, something terrible is happening, something horrific like this can happen, so they holler for gun reform and things of that nature. And the Republicans, they take it and run with it and say, oh, they finna come to our house and take all of our guns. Nobody said anything about taking anybody's guns. And then at the same time, the Democrats, their reform, and I get it, something's got to be done. I applaud the effort, but I really feel like what they're going for here is just, it's not going to be enough. I guess you can call it a start. It's not going to be enough. Raising the age from 18 to 21 to be able to buy certain weapons and of that nature or whatnot. I don't think that's enough. People are buying guns at these places without the register, buying them off the street in the black market or whatnot. Shoot, you about get them anywhere off the street or whatnot. So the bad guys are gonna always have guns, and in my opinion, I think, you know, people need to arm themselves and to protect themselves. But the reform, I do believe we need stronger reform to keep certain people from getting their hands on these weapons. But we need to straighten up our arguments though, because we're going about it the wrong way. Uh-oh, you're muted.
Pat, you muted.
All right, sorry about that. This is what I say we should do. You can't get licensed until you pass a test that proves you can drive.
Okay.
You know, you can't teach unless you go through, take a test.
Right.
You know, I think we gotta do the same thing with these guns, man. You know, like you gotta go through and you gotta register, you know, and you know, one is gonna test your mental, you know, are you mentally capable of taking care of this weapon, you know? And if you go through these schools, you know, and then you get the thumbs up, you're able to have a gun, you know. But right now we're saying anybody can get a gun at any time whenever they feel like it.
Exactly.
Well, the problem you're gonna run into is it's a right. It's not a privilege. It's one of the rights. So that's where you're gonna run into the issue where, well, who decides what is valid psychological eval questions for this test and so on and so forth and things of that sort. So look, I don't have the answer. I would say this. I would say that this is America. We're supposed to have some of the best and brightest. You mean to tell me that with all these elected officials and all these bright individuals in this country who are elected to great ideas to put laws in place to make things better, you mean to tell me we can't come up with something? We can't come up with nothing that would be a start or at least proficient enough to slow some of this down? This is it's ridiculous. I don't think that's the case. I think, like Walt said, we're chasing our own tail with some of these arguments. Nobody's coming to get anybody's guns. I don't think that's happening. But I also think that there should be something in place to prove that you're an American citizen and this is a right, but you got to keep that right. You got to maintain that right. I mean, if you go to jail, most states you lose the right to vote. You don't get to keep it. So why is it? You know what I'm saying? Why are we so hesitant to kind of look at somebody actually maintaining that right that they have to own a firearm? I don't know. You muted again.
So think about this. We all went in the military and we had to go through a class, a course, you know, before we could get our rights to use our weapon. Right?
Right.
Yeah, but we was part of an organization. You still had the right. You walked outside that organization. You still had the right
Well,
to use a weapon.
think of it like this, though.
Mm-hmm.
That thing about what you said about the right to vote, that was no problem to run that through to say if you go to jail, prison, you lose the right to vote. But we can't see because we know who that would have affected majority-wise.
Yeah,
We don't.
Now
Now, this thing with the gun thing, we can't do that. The same, you can't use that same logic because that's affecting some of our good old boys that we need to get their guns.
Yeah.
That's why we got to figure out a way to keep certain people from not getting them. And see, we thinking here on this panel, mental health people, we thinking more reasonable type of stuff. Mental health folks who can't control their actions, folks ain't old enough, things of that. Somebody else is thinking the same way they think about the voting. We don't want certain people voting or having any kind of power in the vote. We don't want certain people being able to have weapons. That's what they looking at.
Which is crazy because we live in a country where you have certain organizations out there, you know, borderline terrorist organizations that still have the right to own firearms and things of that sort.
If you are affiliated with this stuff, you should lose your right.
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 But our elected officials not gonna do nothing because they chasing a lifestyle and a dollar.
Right.
You know, so really, if you really think about it, I'm talking about you really think about it. Now I know the Fed's gonna come after us after I say this. If you really think about it, man, our politicians are the same as what's going on down in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's going on in Russia.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing, man. Ain't no difference. You know, you can sugarcoat it and say, well, oh, you know, you got the right to vote and this and that, and you know, they still in elections.
Right. And you know, in Mexico has I think it has the toughest gun laws in the world. In Mexico, and in the country of Mexico, there's only one gun shop in that whole country, and it's in Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one place you can buy guns in that whole country.
Right, but we know they be buying some guns.
From the Fed, from our feds, what they call them, the ATL.
Right,
you know. Get cut off here in a minute.
Oh man, as long as we small time, they ain't gonna mess with us. As long as we small time, man. We been around get 100,000 followers. 100,000.
Oh,
100,000 followers.
Yeah.
Y'all got to go.
Come on, man. This is too easy, man. You, like I said before, and when I showed, I have, and I took this test. I don't know. I gotta find it again, but it lets you know by definition what you were, Republican or Democrat. And I found I got way more Republican views than I do Democrat. Unreal, yeah, way more, you know, because I'm all about the Second Amendment.
Right.
But just like they said, if you Spider-Man fanatics out there, you know, with great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So we got to use that. We got to use that.
But man, what if we all just go and run as Republicans but just do what's right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like that's my thing, man. Like we all go run as Republicans. You know we're gonna win.
You're not winning.
You know, I ain't never seen Mike P. What Mike P look like? Michael Patterson, what he look like? He probably begins to that Arthur James Patterson. Let's vote for him. You know,
Yeah.
you know we're gonna win. And then when you get in there, you just do what's right. Like, listen, if I were to run, you know, I know they'll be trying to knock me off. But if I was to run, right, when I got in there, I'm gonna do what's right for the people. You know,
your
now,
constituents that elected you in there.
right? You know, and the thing is that, you know, if I get, you know, where I'm at, there's a lot of rich people, you know, but then we got a lot of people that are not so rich, you know, and you know that's side of the track I stay on. I stay on the track with not so rich.
I'm for second. I sure need a raise.
You know, but I know a lot of people on the other side of the track, you know. So you know, I get invited over there a lot. So I'm just saying we can make a compromise to where like we all can win. Like we all can win in this, but the thing gotta be one side can't be against the other side winning, and vice versa. You know, we live in America. You telling me that we can't all just win and live good, eat good? You know, but for some reason, man, we got all this animosity in this country about, well, I don't want to do this and I don't want to, man, all the money coming from the same pot.
Right.
For some people, people have not figured that out. You know, if you welfare, that's the smallest amount of money that's coming out. That ain't even that's the smallest amount. When you start hearing people talk about welfare, that's a minute.
Nothing but a drop in the bucket there.
You're right. That's less than 0.5%. You know, you start looking at going to these cities and states where they building new stadiums and they doing this banks, you know. Hey, go and look in some of these banks and how these buildings are being built and who paying for who's building them.
Right.
People will be surprised, you know. But you know, if somebody over here getting $250 food stamp, everybody want to go crazy off of it. $250? Come on, man.
That's my tax dollars.
Come on, man. This dude out here building a stadium for $250 billion or $250 million, and we're gonna pay $125 million. You know
what the city would do
that?
Wow.
Listen, state gonna do it. Them state dollars coming in too. Yeah. But man, hey, you know, we'll chase that rabbit, man. But you know, I'm just saying, man, we can all come to a medium to where everybody can win. You know, but we have to take me and I out of it. You know, like we just got to do that. Take me and I and come up with some solutions. So right now, I'm finna both of y'all don't won elections. We got Senator JD, we got Senator Walton. All right. Walton, you for the great state of Alabama. And JD, you know what, man? I'm gonna give you Texas. You the senator for the great state of Texas, man.
If I get elected, I must have been the coach of the football team or something.
Right.
So, gentlemen, I want y'all to think about this right here, okay? In the first 90 days in office, what's the top 3 agendas that you want to do locally and give me one national agenda that you want to get accomplished in your first 90 days. Who want to go first?
I get the casino. I get the casinos down here in the lottery because all this stuff is going on anyway, and these little slick ways they're doing it. They got the natives with their stuff going on. The state's still making money off of that. I don't care what they say. So we might as well allow everyone to get involved because I feel like they're just trying to keep some certain people from not only winning but being employed. Also, I'd encourage pro teams. I don't care what pro team, anything, baseball, basketball, football, all of it. I don't care. I'd encourage.
Hold on, y'all got a pro team, Crimson Tide. Roll Tide.
Use that as an excuse, like that's gonna mess with the rivalry of Auburn, Alabama. I'm like, well, what about Texas and Georgia and Florida and all the other folks? Folks ain't studying that. They finna go see these. They finna go see these games. These sports fanatics out here. So that'd be the second thing nationally. And I mean, I have to say, because of the events that just taken place, is I get more involved with this gun control thing. And I mean, before that happened, it probably would have been something else, but that needs immediate attention, like ASAP. Common sense attention.
Gotcha. All right, JD, you don't have time to mull it over.
Yeah, I knew. Me and Walter are in agreement with the national. Something's got to be done with these shootings in public places. So we got to do something. We got to come up with something. Yeah, you have a right to own firearms, and I wholeheartedly believe you should have that right. I'm not saying take it away, but everybody gets the right in the beginning, but you have the opportunity to lose that right as well. And I think some of these individuals out here have lost their right, or potentially could lose their right, or at least have that pause so we can do a review or something to see what's going on. Now, that being said, with the event in Texas, the went in there and shot everybody up. That cat was never diagnosed with any mental health issues. So does that necessarily, if we did something where it was mental health and other stuff, other background checks, would that necessarily stop the foolishness from what's going on right now? Not necessarily. So that's why I said I do agree we got to come up with something. I just don't know what we could come up with yet. Also, for the state of, I don't know the Texas state as far as their issues, but I would assume that I would want to work on the education piece, far state-wise. And then you said one more issue. They already don't have any state tax. I'd probably would look at laws to try to protect. Well, that would be national. I really don't know. I just have the education piece. Maybe I'll try to look at something as far as trying to get more jobs in Texas. You
gotcha. I'd say, and this is what I'm trying to move through Collier County right now, is to open up where we are getting more Black-owned businesses, government contracts. That goes a long way, and that's one of the reasons why Atlanta has thrived so long, and why their Black population is doing really, really well, because those small businesses have turned into large businesses, and they're able to go out and employ people and not pay them. Well, we ain't gonna pay you minimum wage. We can afford to pay you a wage that you can live pretty comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you got people who making a wage where they can live comfortably, a lot of times they go and they open up another business and employ people. And now you got a domino effect, So yeah, I would say I would encourage for that, more small businesses, getting more government contracts. Yeah, so all right, but gentlemen, hey man, I vote for both of y'all, man.
We
gotta Alabama last in everything, man. Education. Look, we more worried about on guns and our governor on the commercial with a gun and lipstick and all this carrying on. I'm like, look, we last in education and all kind of stuff, man. Like, how about putting a book out or something? Show folks we need to do better.
Who y'all got up there? Is Thomasville? What's his name? Thomasville? What?
Kay Ivey, Governor Kay Ivey.
No, the other one, Thomasville.
Oh yeah.
He didn't even know the damn branches of government. He's sitting there. I mean, he tore up, man.
For the record, I just want to say that was an old Auburn coach.
I bet you he knew what a 921 Rocket Fly 32 power is. I bet you he know what that is.
Right.
Oh man!
Apparently he didn't, because he switched careers and went straight into politics and didn't know nothing about that job either.
The money, man. The money.
Must be nice to be unqualified and get a job.
He ain't got to work that hard to get that money now.
Has he ever worked hard?
Trying to beat Alabama, he was probably up a lot of nights. I can almost guarantee you when he was at Auburn, he was stressed out for a couple of years. Can't beat Bama.
He ain't stressed out no more. He still don't know his job.
Yeah.
Oh man. I bet every time they see him, roll damn tide.
Man, we got him. Then we got Mo Brooks. He involved with the January 6th. He getting subpoenaed and carried on. Like, come on, Alabama. We worried about guns.
You know what, man? You know what? Hold on. Let me get it out here. Let me get it out here. Okay.
There you go now. Now y'all bring that.
Get it out here, okay? Right here. Let me get it out. Let me get it out, okay? At least that's why y'all gotta have a good Alabama. Gotta have a good football team, man.
Got it, at least something.
Because if y'all didn't have that, man, y'all might be the murder capital of the world.
You know what I'm saying? Golly.
Oh man, y'all might be the murder capital of the world, man.
I'm telling you, bro.
But I ain't gonna lie, I love me some Alabama, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. You can go over there and buy land real cheap, man. I like Alabama.
That is something that is something good, but that's golly. We need to put some doggone schools on the extra land,
right?
Cheap land or something,
right?
Hey.
Yeah, man. So
Thomasville, man. However you say his name.
Yeah,
it's not important because he don't know nothing either. So
Tuberville. Tommy Tuberville. Can you imagine Nick Saban running for governor of Alabama?
Your football views, I'm with it, but political,
he'll get in there.
He'll win by a landslide.
Yeah, he'll win.
He'll win.
He'll win, but
He'll win by a landslide.
is he
You
gonna make
know,
a difference?
and in my hometown, this was some years back, maybe 10, 12, been some years back. But they voted the coach that won a state championship. He won back in 80, 82. They voted him the
Wow.
superintendent of schools over a lady who had 30 plus years of teaching and done work. I'm talking about she done been teacher, she done been reading coach, she done been department chair, she done been assistant principal, she done been principal, she done been deputy director, she done been director, she done been assistant superintendent all these years.
Man,
And they get to the former head football coach, and that's the only job he had in Bainbridge.
golly, that's something else, man.
That's something else. That let you know.
How y'all surprised? We just elected a dang on reality TV host as president of the United States.
Yeah.
No qualification. Family couldn't even barely pass the secret security clearance. They just had to write it in, like, all right, you good.
Golly.
Yeah. Oof.
And now the whole country is in the same predicament as much as I hate to say it, the South.
Right.
Right. We in bad shape, y'all. You know, but one thing I can say, man, my governor down here, he doing some work, man. Can't say it's good, can't say it's bad, but he put in some work.
He has some moments. He has his moments. I will say that.
Now, and this the other thing I can say. I don't really pay attention to other governors, but this dude be traveling, man. He be traveling, man. He hold a press conference every day in a different city in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
Now, if y'all could just get him to do two things. Actually know what his job is and do some push aways, dog. You get them suits ain't fitting, bro. You swelling up.
Push away.
The damn cold cuts coming out your pores, dog. Come on, dude. Get you a few snacks, get you a trainer. Come on now.
Yeah, man. That no, I never looked this up. But y'all governor is what, Cuban?
I don't know.
Is he?
You talking about the
Yeah.
Nah, that's a white man. He's served in the military.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. He's Caucasian.
Caucasian. Well, the Republicans get upset about the Dems allowing the immigrants to come over the border and wherever else and stuff like that. We don't never pay much mind to the folks coming out of other countries that I guess we favor. We don't pay that much mind. Don't get much publicity. But these people, the Democrats aren't. I don't know if they're addressing that, if they even realize it. When the Democrat get in office, allow all these folks to come over, which I'm all right. Hey, everybody deserves a chance, an opportunity, or something like that. But if you're doing that for political reasons, it's backfiring. Because these people are coming from these countries who are mostly Catholic, very religious, and they come here through the democratic process, but they vote Republican because the Dems carry some things that go against what they believe, and so they don't vote Democratic. Wow. So it's just odd to me to see the Republicans fighting against the immigrants coming over. The Dems are like, let them over. But then they come over, they become citizens or whatever, they grew up here and turn around and vote Republican. Mm-hmm. It's like, is anybody catching on to this? It's like everything the Dems do seem to bite them in the behind later, what's her name?
AOC.
No, the girl in the lady in Congress, Pelosi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow her to do communion in her church.
Mm.
Had something to do with her supporting abortion.
Oh, I thought she had assaulted a child. Oh wait, that's the whole. Never
That's the
mind.
whole thing.
Pot kettle.
Right.
What are you doing?
Mm.
What are you doing? Y'all still got preachers in there, not preachers, but y'all still got
I don't
pastors
know,
in there,
man.
whatever in there. That's
You can't
come on,
abort
man.
them, but you can run up in them, huh?
Yeah.
Mm.
Please don't kill them. We want to touch them up.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Now the lieutenant governor, she's the first Latina to hold that position.
Well,
Yeah,
Lieutenant governor for Florida.
yeah, Jeanette Nunez. So Nunez pulled the she pulled the Latino vote, which is huge in the state of Florida.
Of course.
So that's how he won. I don't know if he's running again.
But with that demographic, and it goes the same for us. We're African Americans essentially Republicans as far as our belief, our value system.
Right.
Where we come into disagreement is just how some of the laws affect us and how they affect everybody else, and that's
Right.
how we end up on the other side. But most everybody's more conservative, more so in this country than anything else. If you just look at our religious values and everything else down the line, for the most part, we are a conservative country until it comes to our dirty side and all that foolishness. But
yeah.
for the most part,
But we got, the Democrats is starting to appear weak by allowing these other things. I don't want to even mention it because that's probably a topic for another show. But other things to tag on to, like you got the big things of civil rights, you got women's rights, and all for the people as a whole. But you got some of the people who want to be recognized individually as a community of our own, as a group of our own, or something that's saying, hey, we're just like the civil rights. Hey, we're just like the women's rights. Hey, we're just like all these other rights and stuff like that. We want to be addressed different. We want to be, just different all the way around. That's affecting them trying to carry all that weight.
I think, man, if we just went human rights, if we took all the individualism out of it, human rights, and just took it back to the golden rule. I know, sound like an old man, treat everybody like they're supposed to be treated, but if we just went that route, human rights, I think we should be good. Unless we got some extraterrestrials that's going to come out and say, yo, what about us?
Right.
If we just went human rights, everybody get taken care of.
That includes everybody.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Your sexual preference, your complexion,
Don't matter.
your gender, whatever that's everybody.
And essentially, if you really think about the values in that Constitution and Bill of Rights and all that stuff, that's what it was. That was the idea until it started, doing some backdoor foolishness. We actually just focus on the ideals that came out of all of that, man. I think we'd be in a heck of a lot better place than we are right now.
Right.
Just focus on those ideas, those values that we supposed to believe, man. I think we'd be.
You said values?
Mm.
What are those?
Apparently, we don't know no more.
Right.
What are those?
And
man?
then you got parties that's up here saying that, it's only one group. It's only one group in the two out of the 2 or 3 different parties that represent values, and that's not the case. Because we can look at both or all 3 parties and be like, y'all suspect. Some of y'all ain't suspect. Let's just look at individuals that get up there and do their thing, and then judge that individual and stop trying to judge a group off of the foolishness that they do. Now, these 2 groups, the main 2 groups, y'all do a lot of foolishness, man.
Right.
Let's give it.
And I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm almost done with both of them, man. I'm almost done with both of them, man. Because one party, their whole thing is like their whole message is fear. Like that's their whole message.
Right.
But and this my thing to that party. If your whole message is fear, and that party is supposed to be Christian based, then you should have faith.
Their followers not picking up on that.
Right. Faith and fear can't live in the same house.
Right.
It can't.
Exactly.
If I'm fearful, then I have zero faith. But if I'm a Christian, and that's gonna be my walk, Hebrews 11:1, and I'm gonna walk that line, then I'm full of faith. Ain't no fear over here. That dog don't even hunt over here.
Right.
But some kind of way, like that whole party, like that's their whole thing, rather than So I ain't even. And then the other party, I just don't know what they trying to do.
They can't make up their mind.
They sabotaging themselves. Like, hey, we in the game, but that's not all we want to be. We just want to be in the game.
Yeah.
So like, what y'all trying to do? What's y'all game plan? Can y'all get the gas down? Can we do that?
Right.
And I think, the next party that's going to take lead in this country is going to be who can get this gas price down.
Right.
Because whoever can handle that problem right there, that's the number one problem. I know we got the shooting. I know we got the education. I know we got all this other stuff. But whoever can handle this gas, that's going to be the winner.
That's going to be the winner.
You might well get comfortable, man. Put your feet up. That gas thing going to be around for a little bit.
Because them folks, somebody making too much money off of it.
Yeah.
And it's probably both sides got some ties to that.
We already know, man. We already know. So that's why all 3 of us need to go ahead and run, and we go on and get our agenda. We go get this gas money that they handing out, because they lobbying, and then they bring it back to our community.
I'm good. Right. I'm good. Obama still got Secret Service, and thank God President Bush still got Secret Service, because they were trying to get him too. So I'm good. Y'all go ahead and run, man. I'm casting my ballot for you, because I know what guys.
Cast your ballot on that one.
Yeah, I know what you guys represent, so I got you. But I don't think I'm running nowhere. Negative.
Yes, sir. So, all right, fella, we done been at it for a good little minute, man, and JD said he ain't running. Mike P ain't gonna run either. But I'll advise some people if you have great values, and the thing is, it's not having great values. It's when you get there, can you keep those values? And very few people can do it. Probably the one person I haven't really looked into it, but I always hear great things about is the Cortez out of, is it New York? New York.
Oh, you talking about AOC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always hear good stuff out of her. I went and checked her voting record one time, and it was a working person's voting record. She voted with the working person. And you go and you check some other people. They're running as a working person. But they ain't voting as a working person.
They ain't voting that way.
And that's contradicting, because that's right. Them hands done got greased. Money done changed hands, and
They said they got that Roscoe Jenkins, man. The power of me.
The power of me. Shout out to Roscoe Jenkins, man. Shout out to the
Best
legend.
comedian, one of the best comedians of all time.
Roscoe Jenkins.
So fellas, let me ask y'all this, man. We about to close, man. Y'all got any last parting words for our viewers?
I'd like to say, and I know we're behind the curve with the condolences for the families in Texas, also up there in Buffalo. But we send our condolences, and we hope and pray that we can figure something out as a nation on how to slow this foolishness down, whether you're in a school, a grocery store, a church, or anywhere else out in public, just living your life and to have that snuffed out. And then now we're at the point where we're worried about our children. This doesn't make any sense. So condolences definitely go out to them, and hopefully with the best and brightest here, we can come up with something that makes sense to help protect our families.
Right. Same goes here, man. My condolences to the families of the victims up in Buffalo and also in Texas. Hopefully, I think honestly, as it's happened before, this is something they're gonna talk about and argue about till the lights dim on it, and then they're gonna sweep that under the rug again. Hopefully, we can keep this going, and we can elect people who we can hold responsible, hold their feet to the fire about doing something about this nonsense violence. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna leave it at that, man.
Yeah.
So until next time, God bless, and we love you. I got one more parting shot that I'm gonna go out with, and this for the great state of Georgia, man. Shout out to everybody at the crib, man.
And did they catch that dude from McDonald's?
We are the champions, my friends.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Work. There you go. Hard work. Work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work. 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 That's what I say. Hard work. 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 Earn more pay. Hard work. Hard work. Do it every day. Hard work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work. Work. To go and earn my pay. Hard work. Work. Put my boots on and lace them up. Hard work. Work. Another day to work.